So hey anime fans. The series name is What If Naruto Got Harem with Wednesday. So let's start the series. It was a normal day at an old castle just outside Hyde Ninja Town. This was the prestigious Ninja Academy, which is a school for all kinds of, well, what normal people or normies called outcasts. Werewolves, vampires, sirens, telekinetics, warlocks, you name it, it was probably a student at this school at one point in its long history. And one of those students was sitting at a table in the quad alone eating some instant ramen. This boy had blonde hair, was slightly spiky. He was wearing a blue school uniform with AN on the front of his shirt. He had whisker marks on his face and had fangs sticking out of his mouth. This was Naruto Uzumaki. He looked over all the other students as he ate. He had been going to this academy for the past year or so after his mom and dad sent him here. He didn't mind the school really, he had made a few friends. Hey Naruto! A teen boy with messy brown hair who was also wearing the same uniform as all the other students. This was Naruto's friend Inuzuka, Naruto's friend and roommate in his dorm. Hello Naruto friend, Naruto said as he sucked up a noodle. There's not garlic in that, is there? If so, I have a gas mask for your dash, Naruto's friend was saying with a teasing grin. I told you that was a trying time, besides it's not garlic that gives me gas, Naruto said, albeit slightly flustered from embarrassment. Naruto's friend laughed at this and nodded as he sat with Naruto. You hear about the new student arriving today? He asked Naruto. The one who everyone won't shut up about. No, I haven't, Naruto said with a flat tone as he had heard many students talking about the new arrival and the rumor mill was getting ridiculous. Well, I heard she comes from a family that is alumni to the school, Naruto's friend said. Oh goody, another snob, Naruto said with a groan, as some students here were indeed snobs, but they thankfully left him alone after the second or third prank. Word is that this family is cookier and spookier than most families that came here, Naruto's friend said. Where you get that old TV theme? Naruto asked with a flat look at Naruto's friend. I heard she threw piranhas into the school pool while the swim team was in there. One guy won't be having kids, Naruto's friend said with a wince, as while he didn't know the guy, he felt that was way too far. Piranha sounds good, Naruto said as he licked his fangs. That's what you got out of that? Naruto's friend asked curiously. Were they jocks? Naruto asked with a raised eyebrow. I think I vaguely remember something about a kid in a locker before she chucked piranhas into the dive pool, Naruto's friend said. Naruto chuckled at this as he smiled. Sounds like those jocks crossed someone they shouldn't to me, he said as he smiled. And I thought you had crazy pranks, at least yours aren't life-threatening, Naruto's friend said as he shook his head. Hey, if I want to hurt someone, I want them to know it was me, Naruto said with a grin that was kinda unsettling. You're smiling like your mom again, dude, Naruto's friend said with a shudder. Heh, sorry, Naruto said with a sheepish chuckle as he rubbed the back of his head. Just don't start laughing like her, we don't need students running and screaming, man, Naruto's friend said as he composed himself. Oh, relax, hey, there's your not-so-secret crush, Naruto said with a teasing grin as he pointed across the quad at two girls. One was a girl with blonde hair that had several colors dyed into it along with her fingernails. This was Enid Sinclair, Naruto's friend's crush. Shut up, dude, Naruto's friend said as he tried not to blush. I don't see the problem, you're a werewolf, she's a werewolf, Naruto said with a chuckle at his friend. Naruto's friend said nothing at this as he watched Enid. Is this like that whole mutt and alpha thing I hear about? Naruto asked, looking at Naruto's friend. That's a stereotype, you idiot, Naruto's friend said as he watched Enid. If this is about her not wolfing out yet, then I swear to God I'm gonna dash, Naruto said as he cracked his knuckles. No! God, no, it's not that hill, you know my big sis was a late bloomer too, Naruto's friend said as he shook his head at this. Good, we don't want a repeat of what I did with Shadow Ninja and Bianca, do we? Naruto asked with a grin at Naruto's friend. Naruto's friend shuddered at this and shook his head as he definitely didn't want that. You see, Shadow Ninja and Bianca were fellow students, Shadow Ninja being a friend of Naruto's, and recently Shadow Ninja started getting paranoid about if his siren girlfriend Bianca, thinking she was manipulating him with her siren song. Now Naruto may not be friends with Bianca, but he was good at reading people and he didn't get that vibe off the siren teen, so Naruto had talked to Shadow Ninja and convinced him he was being an idiot. Geez, you play therapist once and you'd get marked for life, Naruto said with a sigh at Naruto's friend's reaction. Dude, you hung Shadow Ninja off the roof by his underpants and told him to actually talk to Bianca or you would drop him, Naruto's friend said flatly. Hey, it worked, didn't it? Naruto said as he jerked his thumb at Shadow Ninja and Bianca, who were sitting together at a table nearby. Naruto's friend shook his head at this before he looked at Enid again. Huh, looks like she's showing around the new girl, he said. Naruto looked at Enid and saw that she was indeed showing the new girl around school. The new girl had long black hair that was tied into long twin pigtails. She also had a pale complexion and had what looked like a flat look on her face as she looked around as Enid showed her around the quad. What kind of ghoul you think she is? Vampire? Nuda friend asked. I doubt it. No sunglasses, Nuda said as he shook his head. Oh yeah, sensitivity to sunlight in the eyes. Not all fangs are like you, Nuda friend said with a chuckle. Half vamp, remember? Nuda said simply as he knew Nuda friend didn't care. Yeah, but your half comes from a true blood vampire, Nuda friend said with a shudder as he again thought about Nuda's mom. Yeah, I know, but better the eyes than what the movies make us out to be. All pssh, Nuda said as he rubbed some of the ramen topping out, signifying the turning to ash deal. Still mad about those Twilight films, huh? Nuda friend asked with a smirk. We don't mention those, Nuda said with a scowl. Yeah, I hate them too. Not all wolves are like that, Nuda friend said as he nodded. Damn normie movie makers, Nuda grumbled to himself while he watched the new girl with Enid. You checking her out? Nuda friend asked with a raised eyebrow. Nuda scoffed at this. She stands out, Nuda friend. How can I not look? He asked. I don't hear denial, Nuda friend said with a fanged grin. You're such an ass. No wonder we make good friends, Nuda said as he shook his head. Oh come on, you've been here a year and haven't looked at a girl for longer than a second. You can't blame me for pointing this out, Nuda friend said with a grin. Your crush is approaching, Nuda said, simply ignoring Nuda friend as he pointed out Enid, who was approaching them along with the new girl. Nuda friend growled at Nuda at this before he turned to look at Enid. Hey Enid, what you up to? He said as he waved. Hello Nuda friend. Nuda, I'm showing my new roomie around. Wednesday, these are Nuda friend Inuzuka and Nuda Uzumaki, Enid said with a smile at Nuda friend before turning to the black-haired girl. A maelstrom. Your parents must expect you to cause chaos, Wednesday said with a flat tone as she looked at Nuda. You can say that again, sister, Nuda friend muttered, knowing from experience. Well, at least you didn't think it meant the ramen topping, Nuda said with a sigh of relief. This is Wednesday Adams, Enid said as she smiled as she introduced her new roommate. Adams, well that explains the kooky and spooky, Nuda said as he shared a glance with Nuda friend. You know my family? Wednesday asked with a monotone. Well, I know my mom and your mom were best friends back when they went to school here, Nuda said with a shrug. My mom had friends. How disappointing, Wednesday said with a monotone. Nuda chuckled at this, finding her quip amusing. So you got a specialty that showed you here, or are you here just because of your parents? Nuda friend asked. My parents have been looking for any excuse to ship me off here, part of their insidious plan to make me into miniature versions of them, Wednesday said with an annoyed tone. In my experience, all parents are supposed to drive you crazy, Nuda said with a grin at Nuda friend and Enid, who both nodded in agreement. None more so than his mama, Nuda friend added. Fascinating. Well, if you will excuse me, Wednesday said with a disinterested tone as she walked away. Definitely got the weirdness factor for this place, Nuda friend muttered. Yes, she's definitely interesting, Nuda said simply as he watched Wednesday. Enid looked at Nuda at this and gasped. OMG, are you checking her out? She asked, surprised. Enid, I'm not above pranking a girl, Nuda said simply as he walked away from Nuda friend and Enid. Enid moved behind Nuda friend, using him as a shield, making him blush in surprise but thanking Nuda mentally. Later that night, Nuda was in his dorm room sitting on his bed reading a book to pass the time when his phone rings as the sounds of screaming to fill the room. Gotta change that ringtone one of these days, Nuda muttered as he grabbed his phone. Hey mom, Nuda said after he answered the phone. There's my little blood sucker, a female voice on the other end of the phone said happily. This was Nuda's mother, Kushina Uzumaki. Don't call me that. You and Dad doing well? Nuda asked with a small smile. Yeah, we're fine. How is school going? I haven't gotten a call from old Weems, so I was getting worried you were becoming boring, Kushina said with an audible smile on her face. Never dull. A new girl started school today though, Nuda said. Oh? Weems never lets students start mid-semester. What's this student's name? Kushina asked curiously. Wednesday Adams, Nuda said, thinking about the new girl. Oh ho! So Morticia finally got her kid to go ninja, huh? Kushina said with a laugh. Yes, after dropping piranhas in the pool of jocks who locked her brother in a locker. Ha! Not surprised the Adams take their family seriously no matter how cold or crazy they seem, Kushina said as she giggled at this. No wonder you and her mom were best friends, Nuda said with a chuckle as he knew his mom was the same way about family. You bet. Me and Morcha were as thick as a fat man's blood. Speaking of which, have you? Kushina was asking before she was cut off. No, Mom, I haven't sucked anyone's blood yet. I am still getting by on donated blood packs and blood substitutes, Nuda said firmly. Now you know I don't care if you prefer not sucking someone's blood, Kushina said, calm, wanting to put her son at ease. Mother, I am not going to drink someone's blood. You never know what people are putting in their bodies nowadays, Nuda said. Yeah, true, plus me and you aren't like other vampires, Kushina said. Yeah, I know, Nuda said with a sigh, as he had heard about how him and his mom were pure blood vampires which were more powerful than other vampires who had to wear sunglasses during the day and could only fly by turning into bats. Found a girlfriend yet? Kushina asked curiously. And I'm hanging up, Nuda said simply, as he knew if his mom started with this she would most likely keep him up for hours. Kushina laughed at this. Okay, I'll spare you my nagging, but this isn't over, brat, she said. Thanks, love you, Mom, Nuda said with a sigh of relief that his mom was gonna spare him her insistence he finds a girlfriend. Love you too, Kushina said. Nuda hung up at this and went back to his book just as Nuda friend came into the shared dorm room. You tell your mom you were checking out at a whoa, Nuda friend was saying before he ducked as a book hit the wall. Shut up, Nuda said as he walked over and picked up his book. Look, all I'm saying is that there hasn't been a single girl in this school that caught your look, but then suddenly this girl, who seems like the kind who might find joy in stabbing you, comes along, and suddenly she's all you look at, Nuda friend said. I just met her, you moron. Plus I am not taking advice from the guy who can't even talk to his crush for 5 minutes, Nuda said as he returned to his bed and sat down to read some more. At least I have a crush, Whiskers, or will admit it, Nuda friend said. Keep it up, I need a prank victim for this week, Nuda said simply as he turned. You ever think you prank because you're just so sad you need to torture others to feel good about yourself? Nuda friend asked. Hey, I prank who have it coming, Nuda said simply. Yeah, you prank snobs here or normie assholes in Jericho, Nuda friend said as he sat down at his bed. Yes, so don't question it, Nuda said simply. Look, just take the moment to think. You might have a crush on your hands, but you're afraid of what your mom will do if she finds out, Nuda friend said as he got in his bed. If I ever get a crush, she will be the last person I tell, Nuda said with a shudder at the idea. Hey, look, it's Wednesday, Nuda friend said as he looked at his clock. Where? Nuda asked as he looked up from his book. I meant it's officially Wednesday, not the girl H.A., Nuda friend said as he rolled. Nuda groaned at this, as he usually wouldn't fall for a stunt like that from his roommate. Oh, you got it bad, Nuda friend said with a grin. I know, Nuda groaned as he head-butted his book. Well, don't worry, I won't tell anyone, Nuda friend said, hoping to put Nuda at ease. Thanks, Nuda said, glad that if anything Nuda friend was loyal. Hey, I think I see the moon, Nuda friend said as he looked out of the window. Start howling and I get the muzzle out again, Nuda said. The next full moon is in a few days, so get your earmuffs ready, Nuda friend said with a grin. I think you mean headphones, and noted, Nuda said as he went back his book. The next day in fencing class. Nuda and Nuda friend were in fencing class along with their fellow students. They were all in their white fencing uniforms. Right now Bianca was sparring with Rowan, who was having a bad day as he was easily getting beat and pushed around. Hey! Rowan yelled as he was tripped by Bianca. Anything goes, Rowan, you know that, the teacher said firmly. Man, I never get a break, Rowan said as Bianca helped him up. Quit whining, Bianca said firmly as she rolled her eyes. Nuda sighed at this while Rowan grumbled before he spotted Wednesday walking into class in a black version of the fencing uniform. Adams, you're late, so you will spar with Uzumaki. Let's see how good you are, the teacher said firmly. Dang it, Nuda muttered as he got into position. Nuda friend chuckled at this while Shadow Ninja looked at Nuda friend. What's his problem? He asked Nuda friend curiously. Can't say, under penalty of being pranked back to the Stone Age, Nuda friend said firmly. Shadow Ninja raised an eyebrow at this as he watched Nuda take his position. Whatever you do, don't jab him in the butt, Bianca whispered to Wednesday. I thought it was anything goes, Wednesday said flatly. Yeah, but he'll take it personally, Bianca said with a grin as she went to stand next to Shadow Ninja. Begin when ready, the teacher said as the two students took their ready stances. Nuda stood across from Wednesday, both taking their stances. Wednesday lunged forward, jabbing her sword at Nuda, who parried her blow with his saber. The Adams girl thrust her blade again, with Nuda thrusting his, countering the strike. Nuda swung at her, but she easily ducked, moving under him, poking his chest, earning the first point. This got ooze from the other students. Point Adams, the teacher said with a nod of approval at Wednesday. Huh. Not bad, Nuda said with a chuckle as he readied himself. The two stepped back to retake their positions and readied their sabers again. This time Nuda was the first to move, thrusting out his saber with exceptional speed that Wednesday thought she was seeing multiple blades instead of one, not knowing which to follow, putting on the defensive, ducking and blocking each strike as they came at her. Once the barrage ceased, she moved in again with their blades clashing against one another. Nuda skid back and did something no one expected. He turned his back to Wednesday. What's wrong? Aren't you going to attack, or are you just too afraid? Nuda teased. If there was one thing Wednesday Adams was, she was no coward, and more importantly she enjoyed a challenge, so she lunged at him with Nuda's blade blocking her strike. Wednesday made several strikes at Nuda, but surprisingly even with his back to her he was able to avoid and parry them. Nuda jumped into air, flipping behind Wednesday, whose eyes widened, feeling a poke on the back of her head. And that's a point for me. Nuda smirked as Wednesday turned to look at him. Nuda smirked seeing the glare in Wednesday, but she couldn't help but smirk under her mask at the challenge she was facing. Nuda and Wednesday retook their positions, getting ready for the final duel. Both of them wanting to get the edge, jabbed their blades against each other, sparks slightly running from the strike. They reared back, swiping their blades, both teens knocking the other's mask from their face, knocking them to the ground, revealing the smirking faces of Wednesday and Nuda, blood lightly dripping from the latter's cheek. Nuda moved forward, trying to push back Wednesday, twirling her blade, jabbing it towards her as she moved back, avoiding the attack. Wednesday spun her blade around Nuda's like a snake before thrusting forward, cutting into Nuda's suit, drawing blood from his wound. Wow, you're really going in for the kill, huh? Nuda asked. You got a problem? Wednesday asked with an unamused tone. None at all. Looks like I don't need to hold back, Nuda said, swapping back and forth between his hands in rapid motion before thrusting out his sword with his left hand, then shifting back to his right and striking back again. Nuda and Wednesday pressed their blades against each other, their faces close to each other. The blonde smirked, kissing the gothic girl's nose, causing her eyes to widen in shock before crying out as she was swept under her leg, knocking her on her back with Nuda holding his blade at her neck, much to her shock, with Nuda smirking at her. Wednesday grabbed her blade, jabbing at Nuda's chest, blocking the strike, skidding back. Wednesday quickly jumped to her feet and went off on the offensive, but Nuda jumped back, avoiding her strikes again and again, quickly sidestepping to Wednesday's right side. She swiped at him again, but he sidestepped her again, moving behind her as he jabbed at her rear, but this time she blocked it. Not this time, Wednesday stated as she wouldn't fall for that twice. Nuda grinned. The two retook their stance, clashing as they moved about the room, Wednesday swiping at Nuda, moving back, giving a good backflip to keep his distance. Wednesday charged forward with Nuda swinging down his blade at her, clashing against hers. Nuda and Wednesday thrusted their blades at each other, but just as Wednesday pierced his chest, her eyes widened as she slipped through him, nearly causing her to tip over when she felt a poke at the back, looking over to see Nuda standing behind her. I win, Nuda smirked as he lowered his blade and held out his hand to Wednesday to shake. Wednesday didn't take the hand and glared at Nuda. Sorry, my dear, but as good as you are in something, there's usually someone better, but I will say you actually made me work for it, Nuda said. Wednesday said nothing to this as she left the class, not noticing Rowan watching her. After class, Nuda was walking out of class with Shadow Ninja. Think she's mad? Shadow Ninja asked Nuda as they both spotted Wednesday walking across the quad. Oh, definitely, she has that kind of stare that screams she's plotting my death, Nuda said with a chuckle. Good luck with that, Shadow Ninja said with a chuckle. Hey, I survived initiation, didn't I? Nuda whispered. You turned us all against each other by talking trash, Shadow Ninja said with a flat tone. Nuda chuckled at this, and as he smiled he noticed as Wednesdays walked across the quad, a stone gargoyle above them moved and started to fall towards her. Nuda moved without thinking and tackled Wednesday out of the way of the gargoyle, which smashed to pieces, hitting where she had just been. Nuda, you okay? Nuda friend yelled as he ran over along with Shadow Ninja. Yeah, I'm fine, she's passed out though, Nuda said as he held up a passed out Wednesday. Okay, let's get her to the nurse's office, Shadow Ninja said, ready to help carry her. I gotta just get the door, Nuda said as he easily picked up Wednesday bridal style in his arms. Damn vampire strength, Nuda friend grumbled out as he and Shadow Ninja followed Nuda. Nurse's office. Nuda sat next to Wednesday's bed while she rested. Nuda friend and Shadow Ninja had left after the nurse had said she would be fine. Wednesday soon woke up and stood up and looked at Nuda. What happened? Wednesday asked Nuda. Gargoyle almost crushed you and I pushed you out of the way, Nuda said, explaining what happened. Wednesday looked at Nuda with an inquisitive look. I suppose you feel I owe you now? She asked with a suspicious tone. You're welcome, Nuda said with his own flat tone. What caused the gargoyle to fall? Wednesday asked, ignoring Nuda's tone. No idea, I was more focused on helping you, Nuda said as he shrugged. Do you always help people you just met? Wednesday asked curiously. Pretty much, I find being helpful gets you more friends, Nuda said as he smiled at her. So you're desperate for friends that you put their needs above your own, Wednesday said flatly. Nuda chuckled at this. Ooh, a teen goth girl that answers with sarcasm, a smart remark, or sullen silence. So what's it gonna be next, Miss Adams? He asked with a teasing smile. I don't know, you tell me, Mr. Uzumaki, Wednesday said simply as she got up to leave. Are all Adams such sparkling conversationalists, or is it just you? Nuda asked. Last boy I talked to ended up being scared to death, Wednesday said simply as she walked towards the door. A last girl I talked to tried punching me in the face because of her insecurities. I think she was a banshee, the lungs in her voice, just wow, Nuda said with a chuckle. Wednesday rolled her eyes at this as she left the nurse's office along with Nuda. All right, Adams, who here is after you and why? 'Cause gargoyles don't fall on their own, Nuda muttered to himself as he left the area. Unseen to both him and Wednesday, a stitched-up hand was watching them from behind a water cooler before it walked off to another spot. The next day, Nuda was now in the town of Jericho, walking around town. He liked to visit sometimes since his dad was raised here before he met his mom. He also liked to set up pranks on some of the assholes that he encountered in the town. Which is what he's doing now, searching for new prey to prank to his heart's content. Which wasn't hard since a lot of teens in this town didn't like outcasts. He rubbed his hands in anticipation, just waiting to come across someone he could prank. Come on, there has to be someone around here for pranks, Nuda muttered as he walked over to the Weather Vane, the local coffee shop. He noticed 3 teens dressed as pilgrims enter the coffee shop. He recognized one of them as Lucas Walker, the son of the mayor. Nuda had encountered Lucas and his 2 friends before during last year's outreach day. Let's just say it didn't go well. Dressed as pilgrims. Normally this would be too easy, but fuck it, they have it coming, Nuda thought with a snicker as he followed them into the coffee shop. As he entered, he noticed them talking to Wednesday. He smirked at this before he took out his phone. A few moments later, one of them grabbed at her, and she attacked them, easily deflecting their attacks and sending them all to the floor groaning. Wow, a teen boy wearing an apron said as he watched this. I'm so putting this on the internet, Nuda said with a grin as he held up his phone. Delete that, you free dash, one of the boys was saying before. Walker, please remind your friend here what happened last year when he used that term with me, Nuda said with a glare at the teen, who jumped back as Nuda's eyes flashed red for a second. Let's get out of here. If we get into it with him, my dad will freak out, Lucas said as he dragged his 2 friends out. Yeah, you better walk, I hate getting blood on my boots, Nuda said with an evil grin at them. You'd probably lick it, the teen muttered as they walked away. Yeah, if I wanted to puke my guts out, Nuda said with a glare. The teens all left the coffee shop and Nuda looked at Wednesday, who was looking at him curiously. Not bad, Wednesday, who you train with? Nuda asked with a grin as he put his phone away. My uncle, he learned from Tibetan monks, she said simply. Student? Nuda asked curiously. Prisoner, Wednesday stated matter of faculty. Nuda snorted at this and chuckled but saw Wednesday wasn't reacting. Oh, wow, you're not kidding, are you? He asked. Before Wednesday could respond, a man in a sheriff outfit entered the coffee shop. Uzumaki, he said with a mistrustful tone. Sheriff Galpin, a pleasure, Nuda said with a groan, seeing the man. You the reason the mayor's son and his friends are limping away from here? Galpin said with an accusing look. Nope, not this time, that was this little lady here, Nuda said with a smile as he jerked a thumb at Wednesday. Sheriff Galpin looked at Wednesday for a moment. This little lady took on 3 boys on her own? He asked. This little lady can take you on, Wednesday said firmly. Whoa, Dad, they started it, and she just reacted, the teen wearing an apron said. Sheriff Galpin looked at the teen for a few moments and nodded. Fine, Tyler, he said as he nodded at Wednesday so Sue could leave. Before she could leave, an older woman entered the coffee shop. She had white hair and was wearing a raincoat. Principal Hina, Wednesday said as she clenched her fists in frustration. Little lost, Miss Adams? Come on, let's go, Hina said as she gestured for her to follow her out of the shop. Wait, you're Adams? You're not Gomez Adams' kid, are you? Sheriff Galpin asked Wednesday with a glare. Wednesday looked at the man and nodded at this. Your father belongs in jail, Galpin said with a hard tone. And so did your kid from what I recall, Sheriff, Nuda said with a glare at the man. The sheriff glared at Nerda and started to walk towards him. Mr. Uzumaki, you come with me too, Hina said firmly, knowing she should interfere. Yes, ma'am, Nerda said with a nod as he glared back at the sheriff before following Hina and Wednesday out of the coffee shop. Later, Name sat in the back seat of Hina's car while Wednesday was in the front passenger seat, while Hina drove. You know you're still on thin ice after last year, Mr. Uzumaki, Hina said as she looked into her overhead mirror at Nerdo. Yes, ma'am. What did he do? Never you mind, Miss Ada Dash. Last year I got into it with those morons you beat up. I may have went too far, Nerda said with a chuckle. You shattered one of their arms and scared the whole town, Hina said with a glare at Nerda through the mirror. Impressive, Wednesday said as she looked at the rear-view mirror at Nerda. Yeah, if I get mad I tend to go a little too far. I blame my heritage, Nerda said with a smile. At least it wasn't like the last incident. Hey, in my defense, I didn't think blood could affect me to that degree. You're a vampire? Wednesday asked curiously as she hadn't seen Nerda with sunglasses at all since she met him. Half vampire but of a different breed, Nerda said simply. That explains why you're not bursting into flames at the sunlight. A pity, Wednesday said simply. Nerda scoffed at this but chuckled as the car slowed down. That's actually made by the movies, dear, Hina said. Wouldn't stake to the heart? Wednesday asked. Who wouldn't that kill? Nerda said, giving her a flat look. The movies kinda ruined vampires, especially that Twilight, Hina said with a shudder. Ya mom is still sending death threats to the author of those books, Nerda said with a chuckle. What of werewolves and silver bullets? Wednesday asked curiously. Again, who wouldn't that kill? Nerda asked with a raised eyebrow. I must update my knowledge on these subjects, Wednesday said as the car slowed down as they spotted what looked like a traffic accident on the side of the road. Oh dear, I hope nobody got hurt, Hina said as they drove past. The driver's neck is broken, Wednesday stated simply. Nerda raised an eyebrow at this and looked at the traffic accident as they passed on their way back to the school. Later that night, Nerda was on the castle rooftop looking up at the night sky and the full moon. Nerda friend was off with the other werewolves like they all did during a full moon. Damn Nerda friend stealing my headphones, Nerda thought to himself as he heard some howling. He didn't blame him for the prank, if anything he respected it. Nerda sat up to leave the roof before he heard what sounded like a cello being played. Nerda looked around and soon he spotted Wednesday on the windowsill outside her own dorm room playing a cello. Painted black? She has good taste, Nerda thought as he smiled as he laid back down and listened to the music as he went back to watching the night sky. The next night. It was the next night and Nerda friend were with their fellow students walking into the carnival in Jericho that was set up for the Harvest Festival. So what's your plan for tonight? You finally gonna make a move on Enid? Nerda whispered to his friend as he pointed out Enid with her friends nearby. Yeah, I think, Nerda friend said as he looked nervous. You are so gonna punk out, Nerda said with a smile. You're one to talk with that Wednesday girl, Nerda friend said as he gestured to Wednesday, who was at a dart carnival game. Hey, I can talk to her plenty unlike you, Nerda said. Nerda friend grumbled at this as he couldn't deny that. Tell you what, if you go hang out with her I'll give you a milk bone, Nerda said with a snicker. That was one time on a bet, Nerda friend yelled at Nerda with a blush. Alright, then let's try this, Nerda said as he began to push Nerda friend towards Enid. Whoa, hey, Nerda friend said as Nerda pushed him. Time to wolf up, man, and just do it. I'm here, so just do it. Fine, I'll talk to her, but you have to go talk to Wednesday, Nerda friend whispered to Nerda. Deal, Nerda said as he pushed Nerda friend towards Enid's group and walked towards Wednesday. He approached the game booth and saw that Wednesday was easily hitting and popping the balloons. Didn't see you as a stuffed animal fan, Nerda said with a grin. They make good practice for dismembering, Wednesday said as she looked at Nerda and threw another dart without looking and popping another balloon. Are you here alone or are you waiting for someone? Nerda asked curiously. Waiting for someone, and I need to get someone off my back, Wednesday said as she looked at Hina, who was watching her from a table nearby. I can understand how that feels. Care to give it a try? Wednesday asked, handing him a dart. Nerda smiled and took the dart and looked at the targets, and after a few moments he threw his dart. It hit the target and popped the balloon, and went through the wood behind it. Ah, my ass! Who threw that dart? a voice yelled. Nuda snickered at this. Even Wednesday's lips moved slightly. Hey Wednesday, I finally shook off my dad, Tyler said as he approached them. Ugh, this guy, Nuda muttered to himself. Uzumaki, do me a favor, distract Hina for me, Wednesday said as she looked at Nuda. Nuda looked at Wednesday and at Hina before he sighed. Okay, sure, but call me Nuda at least, he said. Wednesday nodded at this as she had no problem agreeing to this since she was planning to run away anyway. Nuda walked over to Hina, leaving Wednesday with Tyler. You friends with him? Tyler asked Wednesday. He's an acquaintance at best. Why? Wednesday asked as she and Tyler walked away from the booth while Nuda distracted Hina. He may seem nice, but he has a really bad mean streak, Tyler said with a. So do I, Wednesday simply said as she and Tyler walked. Have you almost tried biting someone's neck out or put leeches in their jerseys? Wednesday said nothing to this, but her lips twitched at this. Okay, how's about the time he somehow managed to bring an entire pack of foxes and bats and let them loose in the boys' locker room in the high school? One student went to the hospital with rabies. Wednesday shook her head at this, trying to focus as they made their way into the parking lot. Okay, how's this? The time he managed to replace the principal's tooth with a skunk while he slept. Wednesday snorted at this, covering her mouth. I'm trying to tell you he's bad news and you're taking it like a joke, Tyler said. I must admit I do find it humorous, Wednesday said as they both stopped walking onto the parking lot. They saw Lucas and his two friends waiting for them with chains in their hands, obviously looking for a fight. Come on, Tyler said as he pulled Wednesday along away from the parking lot, Lucas and his friends following them. With Nuda. Nuda ran away from Hina table, snickering as the principal glared at him for distracting her from watching Wednesday. Nuda then spotted Wednesday and Tyler running towards the Ferris wheel with Lucas and his two friends chasing them. Some idiots never learn, Nuda muttered as he sighed as Tyler and Wednesday ran past him. Out of the war, freak, one of the boys said, holding his chain up threateningly as Nuda blocked their path. You don't want to do this, Nuda stated, deciding to give them a chance. You think we're scared of you? You're not scary, freak, the other boy with Lucas said as he raised a baseball bat. You want scary? Okay, Nuda said as he grinned, which unsettled them. Guys, maybe we shouldn't dash, Lucas was saying. Screw that, Lucas. Let's bash his head in, the boy with the bat yelled as he swung at Nuda. Nuda kept his grin as he tilted his head, with his eyes beginning to glow red as he caught the bat with ease. The teens tried to pull his bat loose from Nuda's group before Nuda pulled it out of his hand and crushed it in his hand. So I'm a freak, huh? Nuda asked with a mad grin as what looked like living blood flowed out of his wrists and floated behind him and started to form eyes and mouths. This made Lucas and his three friends fall to the ground and try to crawl away from Nuda. If I'm a freak, then you're freak food, Nuda said with a mad grin as the mouths and the floating blood behind him cackled madly. Uzumaki! Hina yelled as she ran over. Ah, Nuda said as the blood behind him floated back into his wrists. The bullies whimpered as they ran off, absolutely terrified and probably to change their pants. Rest assured I will he calling your mother, Hina said with a firm tone at Nuda. Hey, if I didn't step in they might have hurt Wednesday and her friend, besides my mom will just be mad I didn't finish them, Nuda said as he shuddered, calling Tyler a friend before looking at Hina. And where is Miss Adams? Hina asked curiously. Nuda looked behind him and saw that Wednesday and Tyler were gone. Oops, he said with a sheepish grin as he had lost track of them. Hina rolled her eyes at this before Bianca ran over to her. Miss Hina Adams says someone was attacked in the woods, she said. Hina's eyes widened at this before she glared at Nuda. Oh please, I was here, you're a witness, Nuda yelled at Hina, knowing what she was thinking. Hina nodded at this and ran off to go take care of this. Nuda scoffed at this and looked at Bianca. Hey, you and Shadow Ninja doing okay? He asked her. We are actually, and I still owe you a favor for you talking to Shadow Ninja Uzumaki, Bianca said with a nod at Nuda. Nuda nodded at this as he walked away to go look for Nuda's friend and grill him about not asking Enid out. Nuda was in Hina's office waiting for the headmistress, as after last night at the Harvest Festival the sheriff wanted to question him since pretty much the whole town saw him threaten Lucas and his friends. The door to the office then opened and Hina entered the office with Wednesday and Sheriff Galpin close behind. Can I go now? If not, I want my phone call, Nuda said with a bored tone from his seat. Amusing, Mr. Uzumaki, you want to explain why you threatened the mayor's son? Galpin asked with a glare. Because I can, and he was being an asshole to Wednesday, Nuda said with a flat tone. Do you think everyone's a jerk? Hina said. Oh yeah, then I just felt like it, Nuda said with a snicker. That's not a good excuse, Galpin said with an unamused tone. Nether is chasing someone with a bat and chains. Ask your son, he was running away from them too, Nuda said with a glare. No way he would be around freaks like you and you mother, Galpin said, making Nuda looked at him with a soft growl. Call me a freak, one more time, Nuda said as he got up out of his seat. What you gonna do? Make me wear bad shades, Galpin said with a glare. Galpin, enough or I will be calling the mayor, Hina said with a firm tone. I wish to make a statements in private with the sheriff, Wednesday said. Hina signed at this before she nodded and looked at Galpin. Play nice, she said firmly before she turned to Nerdo. Come with me, Mr. Uzumaki. Yes, ma'am, Nerdo said as he followed her, but not before he stopped and looked at Galpin. Oh, and sheriff, if you mention my mother again, he said with a smile before he threw something at the wall which embedded itself inside it. Galpin jumped back slightly while Wednesday didn't react as they both saw what looked like a dagger made of blood embedded in the wall. Uzumaki, Hina said with a hard tone. Coming, Nuda said as he followed Hina. Nice blade, Wednesday said as she looked at it before watching it turn to blood dropping to the floor. With Nerdo. Nerdo was in his room grumbling to himself after Hina had said he was to stay in his room for the rest of the day. Nerdo friend then entered the room. Heard you lost your temper again, asked me they deserved it, Nerdo friend said as he approached his bed and sat down. Please, I didn't touch them, they are lucky, Nerdo said with a scowl as now everyone would be gossiping about him. Well, you can relax even with you doing your great times 10 grandpa impression. Adams is the one who is the topic of gossip right now, Nerdo friend said as he took off his jacket. Really? Maybe I should have attacked one of them, Nerdo said with a chuckle. It's not funny, dude, she said she saw Rowan get killed in the woods, Nerdo friend said. Huh. But I saw him heading for Hina office just now after she made me leave and go to my room, Nerdo said as he tilted his head to the side. Really, but she says she saw something kill him, Nerdo friend said. So that's why the sheriff was being his charming self. He thinks one of us has been killing people in the woods, Nerdo said as he thought to himself. Sounds like Adams is either lying or crazy, Nerdo friend said as he shrugged. So any idea on the monster that gutted him? Nerdo asked. What makes you think there even is a monster? For all we know, it's just a bear, Nerdo friend said as he didn't believe there was a monster. Wednesday doesn't strike me as a liar, and you really think the sheriff would have cared if it was just a bear? Nerdo asked. I don't know, go ask her yourself tomorrow, Nerdo friend said as he shook his head. Oh, believe me, I will, Nerdo said as he nodded. Or call your mom, I don't know, she's been everywhere and probably seen all sorts of monsters, maybe she knows something, Nerdo friend said as he got on his bed. If I tell her a monster is in the woods, she will just tell me to deal with it myself, cause, Nerdo was saying. True vampires don't take shit from other monsters, Nerdo and Nerdo friend said together. You've said it before, would you kill it? Nerdo friend asked. It's kill or be killed, so if it gives me a reason, all else are off, Nerdo said firmly as he approached his bookshelf and grabbed a book to read. The next day, Nerdo, happy to be free from his room, looked for Wednesday to find out what the monster looked like. He spotted Shadow Ninja walking in the hall carrying a bow and arrow. Hey Shadow Ninja, you seen Wednesday? Nerdo asked curiously. I just talked to her, she was looking into joining a school activity, Shadow Ninja said as he held up his bow. And? Nerdo asked curiously. And she left after getting a bullseye. You want to find her, you got eyes, Shadow Ninja said as he walked by. School activity? The hell kinda activity even suits her, Nerdo muttered, continuing his search. He soon approached the front of the academy and saw Wednesday talking to Rowan before he got into a car and was driven off by Thornhill. Hey Wednesday, Nerdo yelled as he approached her, making her stop walking towards the school. What? She asked as she looked at him. I wanted to hear about your encounter. Mom told me hundreds of monster stories, maybe this one I can remember, Nerdo said. Why do you care? Wednesday asked. Cause if a monster is attacking people, that isn't good for the school, Nerdo said matter-of-factly. And why would you believe me? Everyone else thinks I made it up, Wednesday said with a flat look. Because I like to give people a chance before I pass judgment, Nerdo said as he shrugged. You're a trusting fool, Wednesday stated matter-of-factly. Ouch, Nerdo said with a fake hurt look. I barely got a look at it, but it had big eyes and was vicious, Wednesday stated. That narrows it down some, but not much, Nuda said as he sighed. Told you, Wednesday said flatly as she walked away from Nuda. Hey, don't be like that, I'm sure you could use a hand with this investigation of yours, Nuda said as he followed her. I already have a hand working on it, so no thanks, Wednesday said as she walked away. Hand, don't you mean a man? Nuda asked curiously. No, Wednesday said simply as she walked away, leaving Nuda alone. Later. Nuda was now heading to the greenhouse where the rest of his class was already there. As he entered the greenhouse, he spotted Wednesday alone at a table looking like she was talking to a plant. Nuda raised an eyebrow at this before he approached to see what was going on. A lefty wouldn't have failed me. Don't sulk, I'm going to have to find the evidence myself since you lost my only lead, Wednesday said as Nuda approached and saw she was talking to what looked like a stitched-up hand that was hiding behind a plant. Oh wow, you weren't kidding about a hand, Nuda said, making her turn around. What about it? Wednesday asked as she looked at Nuda. Nothing much, I got an ant in Jersey with reanimated foot, Nuda said as the hand seemed to perk up at that. Don't talk about feet, thing has a thing for feet, Wednesday said as she rolled her eyes. It's so cool, like it literally has a mind of its own, Nuda said, poking Thing curiously before the hand slapped his hand. Thing Nuda thing, Wednesday said as she walked to a table while class started. Mr. Uzumaki, class is starting, talk to the plant later, Miss Thornhill said, getting his attention. But Nuda was saying as he looked at where Thing was a moment ago but was now gone. This got chuckles from the other students. Never mind, at least Tang knew how to stick around, stupid hand, Nuda muttered to himself as he sat next to Wednesday. Tang? Wednesday repeated with a face of confusion. Hey, my aunt had to call the dang foot something, it was a woman's foot, Nuda whispered. You're a mysterious one, Nuda Uzumaki, Wednesday muttered. I've been called crazy, but that's not true, my mother had me tested, Nuda said with a smirk as he focused on the class. This got groans from some of his classmates while Wednesday said nothing, but her mouth twitched a little. Later that day, Wednesday was in her dorm room writing on her typewriter after she had talked to Enid and made up with Thing. Are you coming to dinner, Rumi? Enid asked curiously as she got ready to leave. No, I have work to do, Wednesday said as she typed on her typewriter. Suit yourself, I'll try to bring you back something, I'll tell Nuda you're busy, Enid said as she got ready to leave. Does he always cling to new students like a leech? Wednesday asked as she was curious why Nuda was all seeking her out. No, just you strangely, Enid said as she thought about this. Just me, why? Wednesday asked curiously. Don't know, Nuda friend started a rumor that everyone thinks he likes you, Enid said with a smile. Is he why you spent an hour on your hair? Wednesday asked with a flat tone. Maybe, Enid cast her gaze to the ceiling. Is this love or some kind of alpha wolf thing? Wednesday asked. Nothing like that, though he is from a family of werewolves that have been around for generations, Enid said with a smile. So it's you using him, trying to get to a better pack. Enid's eyes widened in surprise at this before she looked at Wednesday. Of course not, she yelled out. Wednesday turned to look at Enid with an impassive look. Okay, I'll admit my mom's reaction would kinda perk, but beyond that he's cute, funny, reliable, has an adorable little puppy. He doesn't care that I haven't wolfed out, he's a real friend, and in our types of lives, that comes a long way, Enid said with a smile as she thought to herself. You're making me sick, Wednesday stated as she hated this relationship talk. Okay, let's talk about you then. What's going on with you and Nuda? Nothing, he's annoying even if his antics are amusing at best, Wednesday stated. Well, if you asked me, he's not too different from you, he just shows emotion more. Don't think I haven't noticed your mouth twitching around him, Enid said. I have no idea what you're talking about now. What do you know about him? Wednesday asked. Comes from a line of true vampires, mom is crazy strong, dad, not much known, Enid said simply. Dad is a mystery? Pretty much, there are all kinds of rumors about his dad. Do the other Fangs know anything? Wednesday asked curiously. No idea, they all absolutely refuse to talk about him, and they all mostly keep away from him, Enid said. Why? Wednesday asked curiously. Don't know, maybe they're afraid of his mom or his powers over blood or something, Enid said. He showed this off earlier the other day, Wednesday said, remembering how he threw a blood dagger. He showed off his blood manipulation? You, Enid said with a shudder. He does this a lot? Wednesday asked curiously. Yeah, last year a bear was in the woods and some of us were getting chased before it got close. Naruto dropped out of the trees and smashed it with a giant blood mallet, making it explode, Enid said with a shudder. Impressive, Wednesday said as she didn't react to this. More creepy, he was covered in blood laughing, Enid said with a shudder. What else can he do? Wednesday asked curiously. He has this thing where he can turn the blood into a multi-eyed toothy monster. I heard he showed it off to the normies who were trying to attack you, Enid said. Has he ever done so before, perhaps lost control of it? Well, there was last year during Outreach Day. Oh, I'm late. We can talk later, gotta go, Enid yelled as she grabbed her jacket and ran out the door. Wednesday didn't react to this, but she sighed in annoyance as she looked at Thing, who made some signs at her with his fingers. Yes, we're still gonna check Shadow Ninja room and see if there are any clues about Rowan. After that we will check Naruto's room, she said as she grabbed her bag and Thing climbed onto her shoulder and signed at her again. Of course I'm interested in Naruto, he's a suspect, Wednesday stated as she walked towards the window to leave. Thing then did a certain sign that made her pause. I do not have any other motives than that, Wednesday said as she left the room. Later in his room. After Wednesday had searched Shadow Ninja's room and overheard a conversation between Shadow Ninja and Bianca, she was climbing through the window into Naruto and Naruto friend's room. Such a tidy room, this makes it easy to search, Wednesday said. Thing jumped off her shoulder and walked towards the bookshelf near Naruto's bed and started to search. Book on guillotines, vampire bats, a book on the body, strange collection to have for reading material. Thing snapped his fingers and pointed at a shelf he was on. Wednesday looked at the shelf and raised an eyebrow. Overlord? Never heard of it, must be a book series that is derivative for the simple-minded, she said as she went over to Naruto's desk to search. Find anything, Thing. Thing! Wednesday hissed out at Thing. Thing snapped the drawer. He found a picture of Naruto's aunt's pet foot shut in a snap as he went back to looking. Wednesday rolled her eyes at this as she looked over Naruto's desk and saw there were several pictures, one being of Naruto and an older woman with long red hair. His mother perhaps? Wednesday muttered, looking it over. She then heard someone approaching and quickly grabbed Thing and hid under the bed. For the last time, it wasn't me, Naruto friend, Naruto yelled as he entered his room along with Naruto friend. Oh come on, who else would swap Yokosuka bread with garlic bread? Everyone knows you don't get along with the other fangs, Naruto friend said with a scoff. Hey, you know what garlic does to me, so if I did it then it'd be punishing you and myself when we go to sleep, Naruto said as he shook his head. Yeah. I still remember last year's garlic fest, Naruto friend said, rubbing his nose. Yeah, I don't have a bad reaction like other fangs, Naruto said as he rolled his eyes. Hey, did you leave your books like that? Naruto friend asked, looking at his shelf. Probably. Every time I get a new book I lose track, you know that, Naruto said as he looked at the shelf. You call Overlord a book, a man reincarnated as a skeleton and becomes possibly the strongest person on the planet, Naruto friend said as he rolled his eyes. A light novel is still a novel, Naruto yelled in defiance of his friend's criticism. Well, it's better than that comic about the guy made of chainsaws, hey, Naruto friend was saying before he ducked a swipe from Naruto. Blasphemy! I'm getting me mallet, Naruto said as he made a blood mallet in his hand. Get away from me! Kina yelled as he ran out of the room, Naruto close behind. Let's get out of here, Thing, Wednesday said as she got out from under Naruto's bed and walked towards the window. Oh. What did I do? Naruto friend yelled from the hall as Wednesday left through the window. With Naruto. Naruto was still chasing Naruto friend down the hall, hoping to take another swing at his roommate. What is going on? Shadow Ninja asked as he poked his head out of his room to see what the noise was in the dorm. Shadow Ninja, help me, he's doing his impression of his mom, Naruto friend yelled at Shadow Ninja. Suffer for your crimes, blasphemer, Naruto yelled out. Hey look, it's Wednesday, Naruto friend yelled as he pointed down the hall behind them. Where? Naruto asked as he stopped and looked around. Haha, wolf escape, Naruto friend yelled, running off. That's it, I'm getting out the muzzle, Naruto yelled out in annoyance. Before you plot Naruto friend's death, I need a favor from both of you, Shadow Ninja said. What's up? Naruto asked as he called back his blood hammer into his arm. I need a few new teammates for the Poke Cup and Dash, Shadow Ninja was saying. Pass, Naruto said as he made a X motion with his arms. Come on, man, please. 2 of my guys dropped out, Xavier said as normally he wouldn't ask Naruto or Naruto friend, but he was desperate. I'm not into those games, Nerda said as he shook his head. Would it help if I said it was Bianca who gave Yoko garlic bread, leaving you to be blamed? Shadow Ninja said, knowing he probably shouldn't tell Nerda, but he refused to lose. Yes, it would help. Now I know who to blame for all the garlic farts going off tonight, Nerda said as he nodded. Okay, first of all, EW, and second of all, will you help me? Shadow Ninja asked. Yeah, sure, I guess I could help you out now. If you excuse me, I have to find Enid and tell her Nerda friend likes her, Nerda said with an evil grin. You dick! Nerda friend yelled, poking his head around the corner. Oh, bite me, Nerda said with a scowl. Do that and I'll tell Wednesday you like her, Nerda friend yelled back. I do not, Nerda yelled at Nerda friend. Even Shadow Ninja gave him a look along with Nerda friend at this statement. What? I don't. You know us true vampires don't throw that word around easily, Nerda said with a scoff. Whatever you say, Shadow Ninja said, not dropping his look as he re-entered his room. Okay, Nerda friend, let's go make plans for the Po Cup. I can kick your ass later, Nerda said as he walked back to his room. Po Cup? All right. I love competition, Nerda friend said with a grin as he followed. The next day, everyone in the school, both student and teacher, were outside at the lake as all the teams for the Po Cup were all getting ready. How in the heck did Enid convince Wednesday to join this? Nerda friend said, noticing Wednesday amongst the students while dressed as a jester along with Shadow Ninja, Nerda and Ajax. Makes sense, her and Bianca have been trading insults since she got here, Shadow Ninja said as they all. Is Bianca a vamp or am I thinking of the other Bianca? Nerda friend asked. Don't be a moron, you know she's a siren, that's why she always wins this race, Nerda said as he pointed at the lake as they approached their canoe. Then I guess we've lost already if you're saying it, Nerda friend said. I wouldn't count everyone else out yet. This year I'm participating along with Wednesday. Yeah, with both you wild cards I'm not assuming anything, Ajax said with a chuckle as they all got in their canoe. Hey bud, your crush is approaching, Nerda friend said with a snicker. She's not my, Nerda said as he turned to see her and saw her in a tight black cat costume. Nerda smiled a little, did a small wolf whistle at Wednesday's catsuit. Yeah, you said it, Nerda friend muttered, looking at Enid. Wednesday pulled a knife from her boot and threw it, but Nerda smirked and leaned his head to left, making it go into the nearby tree. Is this foreplay for you too? Nerda friend asked with a smile at Nerda while Wednesday glared at Nerda. Shut up or I'll have you muzzled, Nerda said with a smile at Wednesday, who continued to glare at him. TSK, if my mom couldn't do it, how good do you think you can? Nerda friend asked. Focus, you two, Shadow Ninja said as Hina approached the docks to give her speech, start the race. I want to welcome you all the Gear Allen Po Cup. This is one of Ninja oldest annual traditions. Daring back 125 years, each team must row across to Raven Island, pull a flag from Crackstone's crypt, and hustle back without sinking or being sunk. First team to cross over the finish line with their flag wins the cup and bragging rights for the year, as well as some special privileges, Hina said as she smiled at the crowd before she took out a starter's pistol. Let the Po Cup begin, she yelled as she fired it into the air. Nerda and his team rowed along with the other teams down the lake towards Raven Island. Nerda's team was in the lead, and one of the other teams in a purple canoe was close behind and was catching up before it started to move towards a nearby buoy. The team tried to paddle away, but they were helpless to stop their canoe before it slammed into the buoy, destroying their canoe and sending them into the water. Nerdu stopped paddling and looked at the sea and spotted what looked like a fish tail in the sea as it submerged itself into the lake. Your girl is playing dirty, Nerdu said to Shadow Ninja as he rolled his eyes, as while he knew there were no rules in the Po Cup, thus seemed pathetic and beneath him. We're not all masters at pranks like you, Shadow Ninja said as he continued to row. Yeah, now keep rowing, Nerdu friend yelled out as he continued to row. What he said, Ajax said as he nodded in agreement. Nerdu rolled his eyes before he spotted Wednesday's team was catching up with them. I said focus, Nerdu friend yelled as he slapped the back of Nerdu's head. Nerdu grumbled at this as he went back to rowing while making a mental note to put itching powder in Nerdu friend's shampoo later. Nerdu's team soon arrived at the docks of Raven Island. Some of you stay with the canoe, Shadow Ninja said as he got out of the canoe. Go, move your vamp butt, Nerdu friend said as he pushed Nerdu after Shadow Ninja. Yeah, just don't let Enid trick you, Nerdu said as the Black Cat team arrived as he ran after Shadow Ninja. Nerdu and Xaver ran into the woods and soon they approached a big crypt made of stone that had 4 flags standing in front of it. Ugh, hate this guy, Nerdu grumbled as he saw the name Crackstone on tomb of the crypt. Shadow Ninja grabbed their team's flag and they both turned to leave as Wednesday ran over and grabbed her team's flag before she stiffened up and fell over, falling on the ground. Wednesday! Naruto said in concern as he ran over to her. Focus, you dash! Shadow Ninja was saying before he was cut off as Naruto glared at him, his eyes flashing red. Get back to the canoe, I'll be there soon, he said with a hard tone. Shadow Ninja sweated slightly at this before he nodded and ran off as Bianca and her teammate approached. Naruto held Wednesday in his arms as he checked her for any wounds. Before Wednesday unstiffened, stood up, grabbed his wrist, and flipped him and slammed him on the ground before running off with her team's flag. Wow, Naruto thought as he watched Wednesday run off. Honeymoon over Uzumaki? Bianca asked as she laughed as her and her teammate ran off with their flag. Piss off, fish lips, Naruto said as he got back up and in after them. Naruto looked ahead and saw that his team were waiting for him at their canoe as Wednesday approached. Ah, screw it, Naruto grumbled as in a burst of speed he ran past Bianca and Wednesday. Gah! Don't do that teleportation crap, Naruto's friend yelled as he and the others jumped in surprise. I told you it's pure speed, now move! Naruto yelled as he got his paddle and got into the canoe. The team started rowing back towards the finish line, and as they rowed, Naruto felt water at his feet. Oh, you gotta be kidding me, he yelled. I told you that living hand was luring us away, Ajax yelled at Naruto's friend as they started to panic. Naruto, there's a hole, Shadow Ninja yelled at Naruto. On it, Naruto yelled as he made some blood from his wrist and threw it at the scratch marks in the canoe, hardening it and sealing up the hole. Now row like you mean it, Naruto's friend said as he rowed. We're rowing! Ajax yelled as he also rowed determinedly. As Naruto rowed, he saw that Wednesday's canoe was being pushed towards a buoy. Naruto scowled at this before he looked behind them and saw Banana's team catching up with them and laughing at Wednesday's team. Naruto held up his hand and formed a dagger from his blood, which he threw at Bianca's canoe, punching a hole right through the side. Damn it, Uzumaki! Bianca yelled at him as their canoe started to sink. No rules, Siren, Naruto said with a laugh as they rowed off. You love pissing off the elite, don't you? Naruto's friend asked with a chuckle. You play dirty and I play dirty back, Naruto stated as he spotted the black cat's canoe was next to them now as they approached the finish line. Naruto, Shadow Ninja said firmly. Yeah, I'm on it, sorry, when Naruto was saying before he was cut off as Wednesday threw something at him, making him freeze up. What the hell, man? Ajax yelled as Naruto's team saw Naruto had what looked knife in his arm. Fucking pure silver dagger, Naruto's friend growled put as their canoe started to slow down just enough for the black cats to approach the docks before them getting cheers from the crowd as they crossed the finish line. As Naruto's team approached the docks, Naruto's friend and Shadow Ninja pulled the stiffened Naruto onto the docks and laid him down. Is he okay? Ajax asked Naruto's friend as he hadn't seen Naruto do this. Yes, just paralyzed, Naruto's friend said as he grabbed the dagger in Naruto's arm and pulled it out, making Naruto gasp as he unstiffened. Oh, come on! Who told her? Naruto yelled out as he looked around and realized what had happened. You're weak to silver? Shadow Ninja asked with a raised eyebrow as. Look, not all vamp weaknesses work so well on me, and some work just as fucking well, Naruto said as he scowled. Plus it has to be 100% pure silver or it won't work, Naruto's friend said as he helped Naruto to his feet. Thank you, Naruto's friend, Naruto growled out at Naruto's friend for giving that tidbit out. Hey, don't blame me, you're the one who always said you would kill for a worthy rival, Naruto's friend said with a grin as Bianca's team swam over to the docks. Don't use my own words against me, Naruto growled in annoyance. You let her win, Uzumaki? What kind of sap are you? Bianca asked with a glare at Naruto. He didn't let her win, babe, she beat him, Shadow Ninja said with a chuckle. Bianca blinked at this. The great true vampire lost? She asked with a smirk as this was too good to be true. Wanna keep smirking, or do you want your fucking blood to go in that river? Naruto growled at her. Bianca scoffed at this but decided to drop this for bow. Naruto growled and growled before shouting as he punched a tree, heavily breaking its bark. Oh, stop, dude, you lost, big deal, plus if I know you that just makes you like her more, Naruto's friend whispered with a smirk at his friend. Naruto said nothing to this as he looked at Wednesday, who was with her team being cheered for, and she was smirking in victory at him. Come on, admit it already, UL, Naruto's friend was saying before Naruto glared at him, making him jump back in surprise. Later, Naruto and his team were sitting at the table in the quad while everyone was cheering for the Black Cat's team as Hina gave them the poke up. Are you still whining about losing to her? Ajax asked curiously. Nah, I'm over it, just my pride hurts that I didn't see it coming, Nerda said with a sigh. Guess the great true vamp can't do shit to a woman who he likes, Nerda friend said with a grin. The great true vamp is about to kick your ass, shut up, Nerda said as he made a blood mallet. Nerda friend backed off at this before he felt someone tap him on the shoulder, and when he turned he saw Wednesday. What you want, Adams? He asked. The dagger you took out of Nerda's arm, I want it back, Wednesday stated firmly, showing she wasn't open to negotiate. What you want, finish what you started? Nerda friend asked, getting up from the table, claws ready. As fun as that sounds, no, that is a family heirloom. I won't ask you again, Wednesday said with a hard tone. Wanna go, Paley? Nerda friend growled as he cracked his claws. Nerda friend, enough, give her the dagger, Nerda said simply as he rolled his eyes. Grr, one of these days, Adams, one of these days you're gonna push the wrong buttons, Nerda friend said, slapping the dagger into her hand. Careful, next time I may have you fixed, Wednesday said as she walked off. Try it, bitch, Nerda friend growled as he went back to his table. Please, she would so do it, Nerda said with a chuckle at this. Why, because you can't, Nerda friend said, sitting back down. When Nerda says it, it's you guys trading insults, Ajax said as the wheel school had heard the two best friends throwing half threats at each other. And when she says it, she means it, Nerda said as he watched Wednesday walk off alone. Besides, I think Enid would stop her before she could get started on you, Shadow Ninja said as he patted Nerda friend on the back. Speaking of which, if I was you, I would go congratulate Enid. Women love a good sport, Nerda said with a teasing grin at Nerda friend. Says the wimp who won't go to his, Nerda friend said as he walked off. Oh, you're on, Nerda growled as he walked after Wednesday, leaving Shadow Ninja and Ajax alone. So wanna bet on them doing a double wedding? Ajax asked curiously. Suckers bet, Shadow Ninja said with a chuckle at his friend. With Nerda. Nerda walked into a hallway and spotted Wednesday sitting at Poe's statue looking up at it. Hey, I didn't see you as a fan of Poe since he's derivative these days, Nerda said as he approached her. He has his charm despite ending up a drug-riddled madman, Wednesday said as she looked at Nerda. Nobody told you about my weakness to silver, did they? Nerda asked curiously. No, despite my best efforts nobody here knew anything, but I do recall reading that true vampires were weak to silver. It's disappointing that it only paralyzes you, Wednesday stated. Bet it'd make you practically euphoric if it actually killed me, wouldn't it? Nerda said with a small chuckle. You may be a fool, but you're not that easy to kill if half of what I heard about true vampires are true, Wednesday said as she looked at Nerda. Well, you're welcome to try and find out. Just remember, Miss Adams, I'm onto you now, Nerda said with a challenging smirk. I look forward to exchanging blows with you, Wednesday said as she walked off. Nerda's smirk didn't leave his face at this as he watched Wednesday. That's how you bond with a girl? Challenging her to kill you? Nerda friend asked with a raised eyebrow. What did you do? Nerda asked, ignoring the question. I choked after I congratulated her, and she hugged me, Nerda friend said sheepishly. How is it I seem to be more man than you to get my goals done, such a pup? Nerda said, shaking his head. Hey, I got a hug. You, on the other hand, got cut and are looking to get more, Nerda friend yelled at Nerda. What can I say? I'm a sucker for pain, Nerda said with a grin as he and Nerda friend left the hall. That was such a cliché use for a song, and you know it, Nerda friend said flatly. I'm hearing this from the guy who listens to Who Let the Dogs Out, Nerda asked with a teasing smirk. Nerda friend groaned at this while Nerda laughed at his friend.